Good morning, beautiful people. Today I want to tell you a special story, something that happened to me on the 8th of February in the year 2005. It was the day that I've been born for the second time. At the time I was working as an editor for television, and I had met a new director, someone I didn't know before. He had a relationship with an actress, a very well-known actress in Belgium, who even did well internationally. And he was planning on doing a pilot. On Friday evening, I got a telephone from the actress, and she said that she had a fight with her husband and that he had left, and that happened before, and it would probably take a day or three before he came back. But the problem was that on Monday there was a day of shooting, and so her director left. And basically she asked me to do the job. And I couldn't believe my ears, because I felt an editor stands at the bottom of the ladder of hierarchy in the television production. I was really pleased and flattered, but I didn't 100% felt confident. So I said to her, "Okay, I want to do it, but I want the rest of the crew to agree that we do it together, and if they do it, then I want to lead." And so it happened, and it was that Monday was a great day. We finished that time, which is rare in the sector. And when I rode back home in my car, it happened. I felt amazingly good. Had been a great day, and I was listening to the music of the Black Keys, and I set the music quite loud, and with my eyes I was making a sort of video clip. Elements that were passing by, a car, a sign at the road, a tree, whatever. In the beat of the music, I was watching from one side to another, outside my car, inside my car, and this way making a video clip. I had never done that before, just came to me. And while I was doing that and I was breathing deeply, my heart started beating faster and faster, and I had that sensation before while I was doing some sort of self hypnosis, some sort of meditation in my bed at night. It happened 2 or 3 times before that my heart started beating faster and faster. And at these times, when I was lying in bed, I always had a feeling of I was not at ease, and I just stopped it by sitting straight, breathing like that, and thinking, okay, it will pass, and then it did, because it scared me a little. But then at that time, driving in my car, I had the feeling like, just let it happen. Strangely enough, and that's what I did, and my heart kept on beating and kept on accelerating, and all of a sudden, really like that, the lights went on. I became much bigger than my own car, easily 10 meters above it. My sight was completely different, as I was living in, was watching in a crystal world. There was a car driving before me, in front of me, and I could see lights and colors around that car. If you had asked me to point at any little bolt or screw in that car, I could have seen it in all its detail. If you had talked to me in English or in Chinese or any language, living language or dead language, I would have answered a lot more fluent than I tend to do in these videos, but I cut away all these pieces. And I was big and I was huge, and everything I wanted I could accomplish like that. Good things or bad things didn't matter. And it lasted for 10 to 30 seconds, and then I came back in my car, and I was like, I was really freaking out. And I remember riding to a roundabout, and I didn't know if I could manage to get around. I didn't know if I still was able to drive my car, but it managed. And half an hour later, I arrived home, and I called one of my best friends, crying, and I tried to explain what happened to me. And luckily, he reads a lot of spiritual stuff, and he said, "I recognize this. It is called a Kundalini awakening," and that was a great relief, knowing that I was not totally going insane. And it scared me at the same time, because being in that state, it was so easy to manifest anything. If I wanted to kill somebody, it would be easy. Nothing could have stopped me. And I realized that I'm not such a type of guy, but feeling that realization scared me, so to speak, and humbled me in a strange way. The feeling that life was so much bigger, because if there's been one moment in my life that I've been alive, that was it. It felt much more real than this. I don't tell this a lot to people, and it's the first time I do this. I record the story. I expect people to laugh with it and not believe it, and often people see me as a dreamer and some guy of living with heads in the clouds, and I have a lot of fantasy, and that's all true. But this was so much the opposite direction. It's very hard reality. And that's basically my story. And last year I crashed and burned out of my own company. I was forced to leave, and I was at home with a bad burnout. And in my recovery, I read in a book, The Tree of Life, by Israel Regardie, written in 1937, and he described a state of being in that book, and I recognized very well what it was about. And in that book, he stated that people who had that experience, oh, by the way, it's called a Kundalini awakening, but it's in Christian terminology, it's called the visit of the Holy Spirit. It's the chi energy, if you want to know what it is about, or the prana, like it's prana energy, like they say in India. And in that book, The Tree of Life, there was written that people who encounter such an awakening, it's like a calling, and they need to live their life following their own personal soul path. And that's when I truly realized that I was going the wrong way. I was doing creative stuff and all things that other people think that fit me nicely, but I've never felt accomplished. Although I like the techniques, I like being creative. I have a lot of inspiration and imagination, but I always felt like that's not it. That's not it. So by reading that book, I realized, and I was a bit weary about it, that my path was in a different direction, and I had to find it. And I still cannot put my finger really on what it is I have to and I need to do. But I'm very passionate about wanting to help raising consciousness, and therefore I think this Corona time is really special, because not being able to get out and forces us in a way to go in. I very much consider this as a sort of calling again. I wanted to share this with you. I would love to hear what your thoughts on it are, and please ask me questions. I love that. Bye bye. Much love.